In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I am very grateful to God for giving me this blessing of being here with you in this beautiful meeting. And I am also sad that Professor Harry Hubner could not be with us, but his genuine willingness to participate led to having Irma and Chris with us, and we are very happy that they managed to come and be with us. So it's a great gift for me, and I thank you also for inviting us to share with you some of our experiences and ideas. I was born in Tehran, and when I was a teenager, I had lots of questions about God. And I used to study every book available in Farsi about existence of God, arguments for existence of God. And I had a cupboard full of books. But then I thought this is not convincing. And I decided in the age of 17 to go from Tehran to Qom, where we have the largest Shiite seminaries. We have some 70,000 Iranian students and some more than 10,000 international students there. So I told my parents, please let me go to Qom, and I want to study in depth and find answers for my questions. And in our family, we didn't have any clerics, and this was a new thing for our family. I also, at that time, was studying in a special school for talented students, and everyone there becomes either a doctor or engineer or go for pure sciences. So I didn't have that many friends who wanted to do the same as me. But thanks to God, I managed to go to Qom while I was 17. And right from the beginning, I had two major topics that were very special and interesting to me. One was philosophy, because I wanted to be able to find satisfaction of mind, to be certain about those important questions. And the other one was spirituality, because I knew just by intellectual exercise you may not achieve that tranquility. So I tried to have both. After some years of study and studying a lot, Islamic jurisprudence, theology, philosophy, I decided to study also Western philosophy. And at that time, we didn't have degrees in Western philosophy in Qom. We had in Tehran, so I applied for a bachelor in Western philosophy in Tehran University. So I used to commute from Qom to Tehran, and I did a BA, I did MA. For my MA, I did my dissertation on After Virtue by McIntyre. And then I was given a scholarship to go to UK to do my PhD. So in October 96, I went to UK and I started my PhD on ethical relativism. Then I thought, this is a good time for me and my family. My wife is also a graduate of Qom, to know more about Christianity. In Qom, we didn't have any Christians at that time. Later, we used to have a couple who were Mennonites. But at that time, we didn't have any Christian in Qom. In Iran, Christians are less than maybe 0.5%. And in Qom, we don't have Christians. In Tehran, we have mostly Armenians and Assyrians. But I had deep desire for understanding Christianity, and I said, this is a good time for us to now really get into the Christian world, not through books. For us, students and people of academia, books are very, very important. There is no replacement for books. But at the same time, books can be very also deceiving. The impression that you get by reading about people through books can be sometimes totally different from what you can experience when you have eye-to-eye contact. So I always think that books and maps, these are two things that are very useful but can be also very misguided. When you look at a country on map, you can easily underestimate the greatness of that nation. Oh, just a little, 1 inch on the map. And this is what many politicians who have no experience of working on the ground with people make. In any case, I thought I should use this opportunity to know Christianity as it is lived by Christians. And at that time, this is 96, 97, we didn't have that many interfaith projects, initiatives, platforms. And also, UK is not very Christian anymore. It's no more secular than being Christian. So even to find people who would proudly declare that they are Christians is not easy. And we are interested, and this is very important. I, as a Muslim, am very interested in having dialogue with serious Christians, with people who practice Christianity, not people who are, thinking that their religion is something marginal or they have left. I very much like people who are deeply devoted to Christianity. And I know these are the people, they are serious, and we can, have good discussion. So it took us some time till we managed to start our first serious discussions. And actually that started through some contacts we had in Italy. So our first experiences was with Catholics in the UK, with the Focolare movement. And it's very interesting how little things can lead to great experiences. So we were invited to a day meeting in Hope University in Liverpool, which was organized by the Focolare movement. And it was about love for God, and we were very impressed by seeing our Christian brothers and sisters, how much they talk about love for God, love for each other. My wife was, in tears. And then next to me, there was a priest, a Catholic priest who knew Focolare, but also he was a Benedictine. So I told him, I come from a seminary background, and I would like to visit a Christian seminary. Can you help me to visit? This is 97, 98 now. And he suggested to visit Ampleforth Abbey, which is the largest monastic community. It's not a seminary, but a place for formation of the monks. And we went together for a visit, and then I kept visiting them. Then I kept visiting Focolare. We went to Rome. Then we developed relation with the Anglicans, and we visited places of training Anglican priests. Then in 2000, 2001, after I did my PhD, for 1 year I was doing some work in London, and I was doing also my postdoc on bioethics. Abbot Timothy, who was the abbot of Ampleforth, said, Muhammad, And this is now after several years of knowing each other and visiting them. Sometimes, we stayed there for 1 week. He said, Muhammad, are you happy to give a talk on Islam to our brethren? And I said, yes. He said, what are you going to say? And I had not thought about this. It just came to my mind. I said, I will try to give an introduction to Islam. And then I talk about Islamic spirituality, and I end with some practical instructions given by Muslim mystics. I thought this might be something that monks would like to hear. So he said, why you don't give 3 talks? So I used to drive from London, because 2001 I was in London, so go there, about 4 or 5 hours drive, give a lecture, sleep in the monastery, have breakfast, and come back. And thanks to God, we found lots of similarities. And this is very important. No matter which denomination of the church I have had, discussion with them, we always find lots of similarities. So, for example, when I'm talking to Benedictines, they say this is what is in the rule of Saint Benedict. When I talk with the Jesuits, they say, this is what we have in our tradition. So any group. So in 2001, I was going back to Iran. And I invited one of the monks who had done his PhD in theology to visit us in Qom. And he said I should take permission from the abbot. I said, please do so. And he went to Abbot Timothy, and Abbot Timothy said, it's okay, but also I like to come. So both of them in 2002 visited us in Qom. And we made public events in Qom, and they were very well received. Sessions always ran over time. They had their habits walking on the streets of Qom. They were very surprised by the openness of Shiite seminarians. And then one day when we were going to Tehran in the car, we said, what would be the next step? So we thought maybe now we can have a dialogue in the UK to involve more people in this discussion. And they said, that's good. We can have it in Ampleforth in North Yorkshire. I said, that's very good, because very spiritual atmosphere in the monastery. But I said, most of our people are not in that area in UK. Many live in London. So they said, when we go back to UK, we try to find a partner in London. And that is how Ampleforth and then Heathrow College, which is run by Jesuits, were involved. So in 2003, we had first Catholic Shia dialogue. Of course, there are many dialogues before, but this is our initiative. So in 2003, we had the first Catholic Shia dialogue. One day in Heathrow College, we had 50 people. Then only 40 people. We went to Ampleforth, and we stayed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, up to Wednesday afternoon. And this was very successful. And it was considered by the Tablet, which is a Catholic English magazine, as the first major British encounter of the Catholic theologians with Iranian Shiite thinkers and theologians. And then every other year they visited Qom, and we published a book. Then we had 2005, the second round, 2007, the fourth, then there was a gap. And it has continued. Just the first week of September, now we had the 8th round of Catholic Shia dialogue in Nairobi. For the first time outside Europe and Iran, we wanted to take the good news to African context. And in February also this year, Abbot Timothy and I received a special award from Iran president for interfaith activities. When I went back to Qom, I was asked to be the first head of Department of Religions at the Institute. And then I was involved in Mennonite Shia dialogue. So when I was in the UK, this dialogue had already started. I joined the dialogue. And so far we have had different rounds of dialogue, different publications. But in addition to those major ones, those 7 rounds of dialogue, we also tried to use any opportunity. As Irma said, I took 2 groups of women from Qom to Winnipeg. I kept sending our scholars, young scholars from Qom to Winnipeg, and also to EMU, Eastern Mennonite University in Virginia, and also to Hartford Seminary. And we used every opportunity to first maintain this relation and then also to grow. And now it has become a tradition that almost every year we have some of our people in CSOP, Canadian School of Peace, organized by CMU, or in SPI by EMU in Virginia. And also we have good exchange now with the Lutheran Seminary in Waterloo, but through a Mennonite lecturer, Bryce there. So this relation has become very special for me. And although my academic subject was philosophy, ethics, but it has taken much of my energy and thought, and I'm constantly thinking about how we can improve Christian-Muslim relation. So now, after this little story, I think Irma and I will talk about what are our reflections on the significance of Christian-Muslim relations, and then we can receive your ideas and questions. So, would you like to?
People ask me as to why do you keep doing this, and there are parts of our